live via Facebook streaming, YouTube streaming, and also via Skype. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming from our studios in Trinidad. Sutras of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra. Life is the union of inner and outer dimensions. Life is the union of inner and outer dimension. Inner dimension belongs to religion, religiosity. Outer dimension belongs to science. The two have to work in harmony with one another, but the masters have chosen to remain within the four walls of their religious institutions, and science works in a totally different dimension. Life can be rich, prosperous, a blessing once these two dimensions are blended together. From times immemorial in the West, religion has interfered with the principles of science. We have example of Galileo, who said, it is the sun that moves, it is the earth that moves around the sun. But the church says, it is written in the Bible that it is the sun that revolves around the earth. And the statement of Galileo was considered as blasphemy to religion. He was asked to change his statement. Galileo changed his statement saying that I can change a statement, but that does not mean the earth will stop revolving around the sun, and instead sun will start revolving around the earth. The sun and moon, sun and earth, they do not listen to me. They follow a certain pattern. This was an example of interference of religion into the scientific phenomena. Science has been denying the presence of God since its very inception. It is said that the behavior of atom is linear. It was Albert Einstein who said, "What can I do?" This is a very religious statement. What can I do? All of a sudden, atom is moving in a straight line and then it starts waving. Now science has declared that the movement is curvilinear. The outer dimension gives you the explanation of the inner dimension. Both science and religion has to work in harmony with one another. Only then the life will be rich. And this is the way of practical spirituality or practical science. Quantum process of transformation is the effort from the science to facilitate those principles which can be, once they are applied into the inner dimension, it would be easy for the modern mind to understand the phenomena. That was an attempt by our team of authors to write the quantum process of transformation. The quantum process of transformation, in that certain complex topics I have to write to facilitate the work of the honorable authors. The book is available on Amazon. It was the work of two female authors, one of German descent, the other of Indian descent. Their effort is commendable. But there is another concept which science has been talking about for quite some time, and it was Albert Einstein who pointed out towards it, and then a British scientist, maybe I may be not maybe incorrect with the ethnicity, but that is not important. Higgs boson particle. It is considered as God particle or God consciousness. Higgs boson. Boson is Jagdish Chandra Bose, the Indian scientist. So from him the name boson came. Higgs was another scientist. It is the concept of quantum entanglement. The Nobel Prize winners, the three in 2022, has explained more on this aspect about which Albert spoke earlier. The religion, the inner dimension, has been talking about and working on this for more than 5,000 years. It was mentioned by Paramahansa Yogananda in his book Autobiography of a Yogi. A 5,000 years old mystic is still alive. He introduced the process how to experience the immortality of the being, how to experience practically the immortality of the being, how to connect to the past lives and continue the process of the transformation of consciousness. It is mentioned that this Mahavatar Baba taught this process to one mystic Lahari Mahasaya, who in turn taught this to Yukteswar Giri, who was the master of Paramahansa Yogananda, and he was asked to work in the Western Hemisphere. Similar examples are there. So, the concept of quantum entanglement has made it possible. Scientifically is the union of inner and outer dimension. The inner is one way, the outer is another way. I want people to be rich inwardly and outwardly as well. Only then real progress is possible in life. Another time, I will explain the sutras of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra. This particular sutra, in honor and dishonor, you must remain the unsame same. In honor and dishonor, you must remain the unsame same. There is two dimensions, the inner and outer. Even when you look at The modern science, it also has inner and outer dimension. Look at your wheel of your automobile. It runs on the four wheels. There is a front wheel which is connected to an axle, and the other is the back wheels which are again connected to another axle. And the two axles are connected to another horizontal vertical device. The front wheels are connected through a horizontal device axle. The back wheels are connected to the same horizontal device, and the two horizontal devices are connected to a vertical axle. So when you go for the wheel alignment, the vehicles are now front wheel drive. They do the balancing of the front wheels, or you can get the four wheel balancing. So it is through the vertical axle the front and back wheel come into power. When you need a sturdy vehicle that can go on the heights as well as on a turbulent road, you need a four-wheel drive. For common practice, we use the front-wheel drive. If you want to go through the turbulent roads in life to progress, you need a four-wheel drive. The drive that helps you to create the balance between the inner dimension and the outer dimension, the dimension of art and science. Nanak talks about this. Almost all the mystics, masters and sages in the East spoke of the union of the inner and outer dimension. It gives you a practicality. How practical is your life going to be? You cannot move on 1 foot. While walking, you are given 2 feet, 2 hands, 2 eyes. If you have one eye alone to see, your vision will be weakened. It is the 2 eyes together, it is the 2 ears together. One listens to the words, the other listens to the music. And a composition is not word alone. Word creates a rhythm. It creates a musical harmony. So you hear the two nostrils. All these are given to you in pairs. 2 hands, 2 feet, 2 nostrils, 2 eyes, 2 ears. The 5 sense organs. The eyes, ears, nose, hands, and feet. These are all available to human beings in pairs, so that the effectiveness is enhanced to infinite quantum. In the same way, it has been emphasized, and I again and again put emphasis on the inner and the outer dimension, the dimension of art and the dimension of science, have to work in harmony with one another for life to be more practical, inwardly rich, and outwardly rich with the resources. And this is what this particular sutra says, Sutra of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra. In honor and dishonor, you must remain the unsame same. There is something that never changes. From birth to death, you remain something same your name remains the same. Name is a reflection of something which is inner, the center. The axle remains the same. The center, around the center you can draw infinite circumferences. Circumference and center must be connected to one another, that is the inner and the outer dimension. The outer dimension revolves only around the inner dimension, not the outer dimension is important. Inner dimension is more important, on which the entire edifice. You built a house, its life depends upon the foundation, how strong and sturdy is the foundation of the house. That foundation remains invisible to the human eye, but it is the inner dimension. The dimension, if I put it in the religious terminology, it is the dimension of religion. And the walls that you see, they are the outer dimension or the dimension of the science, which you see, which attracts you. The hidden dimension, the center, remains submerged, hidden under the ground. You don't see the center, you see the circumference. Can these walls be there, strong and sturdy, if the foundation is not strong enough? Religion is the foundation on which the edifice of science is built. The outer dimension that you see is the phenomena of science, that which gives its strength, enormous power, enormous firmness. That is the dimension of the religion. Shiva says, in honor and dishonor you must remain unsame same. There is not something that never changes. It is born in you as the seed. Seed sprouts, becomes in the process of evolution. It can only reach up to the fruit, and when fruit is consumed, it again returns to its original form, the seed form. The innermost center must remain the same. Whatsoever happens to the periphery, irrespective of that. You can change the color of the walls, you can decor it in a different way, but the foundation remains the same. Foundation will not change. The paint on the walls may change, the decoration, inner decoration will change. So periphery is bound to change. Your mood's bound to change. In the morning, there is a different mood. At times, you are loving, you are hungry, you gravitate towards the food. When you are loving, there is a physical need, you gravitate towards your spouse. When the urge is satiated, you move away from there. All this is happening on the surface, but deep down, there should be no change of any kind. And because you are to the periphery and the center, that is why opposite contradictory terms are used. Science, so it is better. They seem to be contradictory, but these terms are complementary. The inner and outer, the male and female thinking. In the final analysis, the female attains to the masculine nature. And it is said that when the two, in the final analysis, the two merge into one another. There was a mystic, a woman in Kashmir. Her name was Lalna or Laila. So the word comes out, Laila Vakyani, means this utterings of Lalna or Laila. After she became enlightened, becomes like a masculine quality. A Buddha becomes a feminine in nature. When a man attains to awakening or enlightenment, he becomes a feminine like. A woman, when attains to enlightenment, she becomes masculine like. Means the masculine element that was hidden in her surfaces, and there is a union of masculine and the feminine element. Man who considers himself to be masculine in the final analysis of awakening or enlightenment becomes compassionate. Compassion is the quality of the feminine mind. Courage, risk-bearing capacity is the quality of the masculine mind. Then these two merge into one another. They seem to be contradictory. Be the unsame same. When you are hungry, you gravitate towards the food. And when you are satiated, you gravitate away from the food. This change is taking place on the surface. Should you change inwardly? No, inwardly you remain the same, who feels the urge as well as satiation through the faculty of the outer dimension. It is the mind that feels hungry, gives you an indication. It is the window through which the inner expresses itself. The mind says, I am hungry. And the same mind now says that I am no more hungry, I am full, satiated. So inner should remain the same, the outer should change. The unsame same. Just now that the change is happening only to your periphery, it cannot happen to you, the inner. It is impossible. The axle will not change unless it wears out constantly revolving. That happens there. In order to explain to you, practically I have to take that. And in that way you can say, when the axle is the inner becomes incapable to sustain the outer dimension, it dissolves and assumes the new form. But the process continues. This is the concept of quantum entanglement, that immortality of the soul, how it assumes, undergoes the process. Just now, just know that change is happening only to your periphery. It cannot happen to you. It is impossible. So you can remain detached And this detachment is not forced on you. You simply know it is so. You simply know that the wheels have to change from time to time, the tires have to change, the rim have to change. This is not forced detachment. This is not any effect on your part to remain detached. Nothing is imposed on you. You know it as natural phenomena. It is happening continuously. If you try to remain detached, you are still on the periphery. You have to take it for granted as a natural phenomena, natural process. It is happening. You have not known the center. The center is detached. It has always been so. There is the only connection that comes between the center and circumference is through the radius, the invisible line that you assume, you use to draw a particular circumference. It has always been so. It is beyond, it is always the beyond. Whatsoever happens below remains, never happens to it. Whatsoever happens below never happens to it. Change never happens. Try this polar situation. Go on feeling something in you which is same from birth to death. When someone is insulting you, focus yourself to the point where you are just listening to him, not doing anything, not interacting, not reacting, just listening. He is insulting you. What he is insulting? He is insulting your actions, the words that you have spoken. He cannot insult you in real way because he is operating from the circumference. He has no idea of the inner, he has no idea of the center. That's why he is continuing. Your periphery will get disturbed. Look at it also. Do not change. Do not change. I gave you the example of Gurdjieff. You may say anything that you want to say, but that does not affect me in any way. Look at it also. Don't change it. Look at it. Remain deep in your center. Connected to the center, whatsoever the person says. Buddha had the example. Every morning he will dress, pick up his begging bowl, put on his cloak, take his walking stick, and go to any particular direction. This day he reached to a village where he was not destined, not planned to reach. Crowd gathered. People came to listen to him. Sermon began. From amidst the crowd a man came. He started first insulting, saying things against Buddha. Buddha remained listening, smiling. I am insulting you and you are smiling? Because he is connected to the center. You are operating from the periphery. The problem comes in when both the persons, the listener and the speaker, is operating through the periphery. The wisdom says, when someone is operating through the periphery, you connect to your center, remain centered. So Buddha, and after that, Buddha spit on that man, spit on Buddha. Buddha wiped it and he said, if you are finished, I can go on my errand. If you are not finished, then I may way back when I am returning, I will pass the same village, then you can say the rest. Anand said, but this is not the way. You are an innocent person, you have not done anything to him, and the man was insulting you. You did not say anything. He spit on you, you did not say anything. Buddha said, Anand, this man did not insult you, did not spit on you. Why are you opening your account? Do you know what is the connection between me and him? I came to this village only because of this man. Knowingly I had closed all my accounts. My account was open with this man. My account was open with this man. And unless all my accounts are closed, I cannot attain to totality. You cannot close your bank account unless all your outstanding balances are paid. You have many credit cards, you have many accounts, some may not be operating, may be almost dead, but the bank looks everything. When he looks at your profile, it looks at everything, surfaces. On this credit card, you have this much balance, on this you have to. So you can be freed, you can get the letter of clearance from the bank only when all those open accounts are closed. In existence, in life, so if you do not close, you have to keep on going to the bank again and again. This account, you had some money, so you close this account. Then bank says you still have some outstanding balances. He gives you a list of that. So you have to slowly and slowly clear up all those accounts. The process continues for a longer period of time. Similar thing happens in life. And once you have the feeling of the natural detachment, nothing can disturb you. Natural, a conscious. This is what Hindus call it as a leela, a play. Life is a play. That is why we use the word Ram, leela. The play of the acts of Ram. The movie is a play in which there is a story, it revolves around a story. The story has certain characters. A hero, a villain, a heroine, and then other subsidiary characters. So in this story, the hero dies, but did he really die? He is an acting. So life, the world is fine a stage on which we come to act our parts. Then do the most of what ye may, cause frigid claws of death may soon descend and seal your humble fate. Then you shan't have time, then you shan't have time, shan't have time. Then do the most of what ye may, cause frigid claws of death may soon descend and seal your humble fate. Then you shan't have time to mend. Shan't have time to mend. The wheel of time too swiftly it moves, goes on mopping as it rolls. No power can its fury ever check its passage. It has been going and shall go forever. The wheel of time moves around in axle. Once you have the feeling of natural detachment that you are doing the acting is a natural detachment. Nothing can disturb you. When the main character in the movie is beaten or dies, is simply an acting. Did he die in reality? You who is watching the movie on the screen, he creates an emotion in you that he has died. Because you are connected to the circumference, not to the inner dimension, you will remain silent. Then, whatsoever happens in the world, you will remain unmoved. Even if someone is killing you, only the body will be touched, not you. You will remain beyond. The fruit has seeds. When you have eaten the fruits, consumed the fruit, the seed does not vanish. Seed remains ready for continuation of another process of evolution. This beyondness leads you into existence, into that which is bliss, eternal, into that which is true, into that which always is, beyond time, into that which is beyond death, into the dimension which is eternal. That's why this dimension is the dimension of eternity, this dimension that we know as God, the quantum entanglement. Ek Onkar Satnam, that is, he is one. What is his way? He vibrates in three modes. A, U, M. Three sounds, which are basic existential sound. Everyone, irrespective of any outer appearances, use these sounds. Sat Nam. Sat is two things. There are two things. You take a lime and you squeeze the lime, that the juice that comes out from lime or orange is the essence, is the juice that has come out by squeezing the fruit. And it has another dimension, it is true. When the fruit will be squeezed, whenever, whichever country, whichever time, day and night, morning and evening, when the fruit will be squeezed, the juice will come out. Juice you see, but the other dimension that it always will bring out juice, that is truth. It has two dimensions. It is scientifically true. When you are squeezing out, juice will come out. It is scientifically true. And the principle behind it, this fruit contains the juice, is truth. The inner dimension, the dimension of religion. Ek Onkar Satnam. Akal Purukh means beyond time. He was, is, and that is the concept of quantum entanglement. Earlier, I did not speak on that because the persons was not ready. The authors were not ready. The authors of the book, The Quantum Process of Transformation, were not ready to understand and to bring out this concept of quantum entanglement, the immortality of soul. The immortality of the soul is the same as the immortality of God, which Nanak says, Ek Onkar Satnam, Akal Purukh. That principle which is beyond time. A means beyond. Kal is a dimension of time. The Hindi word Kal means time. Akal, that is beyond time. Akal Purukh. And when you are alone, why there is a fear in you? Because of the other. You are other oriented, that's why there is a fear. You see the other as other. You do not see him that the same current is flowing between you and the other. The moment you realize the current that is flowing in you is also flowing in the other, then the fear will not be there. Fear is because of the other. So, nirbhav, without fear. Nirbhar, without any, bar means conflict, jealousy, all those dimensions. You are jealous because of the other. You consider the person who is now wooing your spouse as the other. You do not see the similarity in the two. You do not see maybe my time has come in. You have to change the cab when you have to go from one place to another. You have to change the flight in order to reach to your destination. The journey is a continuation. You change the airport, you change the flight, you change the aircraft, you change the cab. This is what happens. Nirbhav, nirbhayar. Ajuni sambhav. Ajuni sambhav means that which is born out of his own free will. No one has created that. Born out of his own free will. The masters are born out of their own free will. Yes, they have to pass through the door, but out of their own free will. The male-female relation is the way to come into life. That is why it is said Jesus was born out of Virgin Mary. All those who were born, they were born out of the beyond. It has to go through the door. Door is the male-female relation. Khalil Gibran says in his Prophet, beautiful manner, Al-Mitra, the disciple asks the master Al-Mustafa, the name he uses, because he comes from a Lebanese ancestry, which has the Middle East effect, the language. So there, Al-Mitra, friend. Al-Mustafa, what is used. Master, what about children? Al-Mustafa says, children are born through you, not from you. You are the door for the birth of the children. You had the mechanism for the children to be born. You pass through the door. You pass through the door to come into the room, to come out of the room, because there is no other way. So male-female relation is the door to come in and come out. So you are detached. And if someone is killing you, the body is touched, not you. So Nanak says, Ajuni Sambham is born out of his own free will. How one can attain to him? Guru Kripa, by the grace of the Master, by the grace of the awakened one. This is the Mool Mantra around which the entire 38 pauris of Japji Sahib are weaved. Ek Onkar Satnam, Akal Purukh, Nirbhav, Nirbhayar, Ajuni Sambham, Guru Prasad Jap. Adi Sach, Jugadi Sach, है भी सच, नानक होसी भी सच, चुपै चुप न हो वही जे लाई रहा लिवतार, भुखिया भुख न उतरी जे बन्ना पुरिया भार, सहस्याण पालक होई त इक न चले नाल, किव सचियारा हो ये, किव कूड़े टुट्टे पाल. When the wheel of darkness will disappear, kiv kule tutte pal. Kood means darkness. Kiv kule tutte pal. Hukum rajai charna nanak likhiya nal. Follow the existential law. Hukum. There is a cosmic law. Hukum, Nanak refers to as cosmic law. Hukum rajai chalna nanak likhiya nal. This is the first pauri. Adi Sach, that was true in the beginning. Jugadi Sach is true now. Adi Sach, Jugadi Sach, Habi Sach will always be true. Nanak hosi bhi Sach. Nanak says it will always remain the same. Nanak hosi bhi Sach. Chupa chup na ho bhai. By remaining silent, it does not change. By speaking continuously, it does not change. Chupa chup na ho bhai je lai raha livtar. Bhukya bhuk na utri je banna puriya bhar. Sahasyan palak hoi ta ik na chale naal. Kiv sachiara hoye when there will be the dawn of awakening. Kiv sachiara hoye. Kiv kude tutte pal when the veil of ignorance, when the veil of ego disappear. Hukum rajai chalna nanak likhiya naal. A beautiful composition. Around that basic principle, Ek Omkar Satnam, Akal Purukh, Nirbhav Nirbhaya, Akal Murat, Ajuni Sambhang, Guru Prasad Jap, Adi Sat, Jugadi Sat, Habi Sat, Nanak Hosi Bhi Sat, Chupai Chup na ho bhai je lai raha livtar, Bhukya bhuk na utri je banna puriya bhar, Sahasyan palak hoi ta ik na chale naal, Kiv sachiara hoye kiv kude tutte pal, Hukum rajai chalna nanak likhiya naal. The process continues. Shankar says that who is the one who is on the path, who has attained to the state of detachment, who is detached to this circumference, detached to the periphery. Shankar says the man who has attained to detachment, sannyasi, is who knows what is changing and what is not changing, who is aware of the two phenomena, the outer and the inner, the science and the religion. When science is important, when religion is important. How to create the balance, they are not conflict to one another. Instead, they are complementary to one another. He knows very well. One who is on the path knows what is the outer dimension and what is inner dimension, what is changing, what is ever changing and what remains the unchanged, what is same and what is unsame. This is the Indian way, that is known as Indian philosophy or darshan. Darshan means to look at. It is known as the discrimination or the vivek, the discriminating intellect. The knowledge, the gyan is the vivek, not the education that you learn in the university. You spend 20-25 years of your precious life and you come out of the university, you are given honors and credits that you have now obtained the degree of PhD, honors, this and that. When you come out of the university after spending 25 years of your precious life, do you have the answers to the simple question that life asks? If not, something else has to be added to the dimension of education. The missing dimension of the education is meditation, is dhyan, is sadhana, is austerity. When that is entered into that dimension, you attain to knowledge, gyan. Knowledge is incorrect word. That which educes out of you, that wells out of you. Where does the water come from? Deep within the earth. It is extracted from deep within. That's why the word educe is used, not seduce. Educe, and the word has come education, that evolves from within, not from without. This is known as vivek, the discrimination, the awareness. Thus this sutra is used in a very, very deep and yet easily manner, easy manner, with whatsoever you are doing. With whatsoever you are doing, you feel hunger, you feel the need for the physical relation. Remember the two realms. Hunger can only be felt by the periphery. The need for sex is only felt by the periphery. Not the periphery needs food, periphery needs fuel, periphery needs the urge of sex is an aspect of the periphery, not that of soul. Soul is already the union of energy and the field, Shiva and Shakti, anima and animus, the male and female. It has already been blend of the two energies. Circumference, the moment you move from circumference to the center through the process of austerity, this is Kriya Yoga or Shiva Yoga, moving from periphery to the center. This is an aspect that I am talking about, the quantum entanglement, and then you will know the immortality of soul, the immortality, oneness of God, the immortality. Remember, when hunger happens, it is happening to the periphery. You are just the knower of it. You know that you are hungry. If you are not there, who will know that? The consciousness, when it operates through the mind, you know that I am hungry. If the body were not there, it would not happen. The moment you are living in a bodiless consciousness, that which is this quantum entanglement is gravitating towards the dimensionless dimension. By your absence, only knowledge will not be there, because the body cannot know. The moment you reach to the inner dimension, you attain to the bodiless consciousness. When there are certain moment comes, when you are touched by that bodiless consciousness, you feel that you are not hungry. You do not feel hunger. You do not feel any need. At times it happens in life, in the process of austerity, when you are within the energy field of the master, at times you feel the urge for sex is no more there. The urge for hunger is not as it used to be before. The body can have it, but it cannot know it. The body will be hungry, but it cannot know it. So never say that I am hungry. Instead say that, always say within, I know that body is hungry. This is a way of those who are in the process of transformation. I know my body is hungry. I am not hungry. I am not sick. The body is indisposed. Give emphasis to your knowing. Then the discrimination is there. You are becoming old. Never say I am becoming old. Just say the body is undergoing change. From birth, the body undergoes various goes through the process of transformation, and in that process, you are journeying from your place to your destination. You are passing through the various scenes, various locations. Along the way, you pass through the rivers, lakes, and other places. If you are living in Chicago, you're passing through the lake around which Swami Vivekananda place is museum or the place whatsoever its name is there. If you are going in DC, you are passing through the Lincoln Memorial, you are passing through the Watergate and other buildings, you are passing through in Trinidad, you are passing through the various destinations along the way. But so in the same way, you are passing through the infant, the child, the youth, the old. These are the changes that are taking place in the body. Just changing the house. If this discrimination deepens in you, if this understanding deepens in you, one day suddenly there will be an explosion of light. There will be suddenly the explosion of light. One day, this month is the month when Buddha attained to enlightenment on the full moon day in the month of May, which is celebrated world over as Besuk festival, the day Buddha was born. His journey from conception, how an awakened one chooses his parent out of his own free will, to his journey of enlightenment, I will speak on. How he was conceived out of his own free will. What happened to that incident when Buddha was conceived? What happened and how the process from conception to enlightenment happened? This is your journey. Conception to enlightenment. The real living starts after that. Before that, it is only the preparation. Preparation may be long. You take a longer time to prepare various dishes, but those dishes are consumed in no time. Only this much for this morning. Until we meet again, take care and do have a pleasant day.